What's good, y'all? It's Recluse Sports and Brooklyn Nets fans. Y'all gonna be alright, man. The team is fun. We got the first look at our new look Nets on Saturday with Philly. And I wanted to make a video then, but I wanted to give us some time. You know, you don't want to overreact off of one game. So Philly, it was a tough loss. We had Embiid looking kind of dumb. He was traveling damn near every play. But he had 37 points. He was kind of locked. Even though he shot efficiently, he was kind of locked. He also had 13 free throw attempts, which tied the entire Brooklyn Nets team. So the officiating was just sus, man. I know I don't like blaming the refs, but, like, come on. That's the only reason I hate going against Philly, the free throw merchants, the bonus brothers, some would say. Harden had 29 points, but it was kind of quiet, and Maxey had 12. Everybody else on Philly was extremely quiet. So we did a good job defensively, and this is what I thought our calling card was going to be, and it's proven to be so. But offense was obviously going to be the problem, but this game kind of showed us how the offense should be run moving forward because the ball was moving. It was just great. Beautiful basketball. We were getting open shots like crazy. Mikal Bridges had 23 points. He was just solid in his debut, obviously. And then Joe had 18 points, all coming in the second quarter because he had 6 threes. He just started wilding. I think he went 6 for 7 from 3. And after that, you know, we had contributions from Cam Thomas, who had 14 points, and Cam Johnson, who had 12. Spencer, this game was kind of quiet, except for the ending where he should have he hit the 3, but they ruled it late. Even though on different angles it showed that the ball was off, like from the TV. Like if you were watching on TV, it looked like he got it off, but then in the arena, it was his ball was clearly still in the hand. So that was just a tough loss, but it was kind of like, all right, you know, it's Philly, they're contenders, and we held our own. So I thought this is how we're gonna be playing. So I was happy, but you know, you got to have a bigger sample size. So then we move on to the Knicks, and Lord, was this game hard to watch. Julius Randle was locked though. Dorian Finney-Smith had that boy in prison. Like he had 18 points, shooting 40% from the field. Like he was locked. The other person though, who was getting whatever they wanted, was Jalen Brunson. He had 40 points on 70% field goal shooting. He was not missing. He was getting to the rim. He was shooting, and he had free throw attempts that he didn't make, but he was getting to the line. So that game for him was just spectacular. You can't really complain if you're a Knicks fan. I was complaining because I'm like, please just stop him. You even have the play where Ben Simmons just let him run to the rim. And that's when JV called a timeout and set him out. But either way, that was just rough. And then Josh Hart made his debut for the Knicks. And I don't know why he started wilding, because he hasn't been shooting great from 3 this season. He wasn't even taking them when he was in Portland. He shot 66% from the 3. He made 4 threes. And he had 27 points. He was just doing whatever he wanted to our defense, and I, for the life of me, could not understand it. I love Josh Hart. I kind of want him to be in that. He's a Swiss Army knife. He's great. He's a great player. So you can't complain if you're a Knicks fan. I was complaining because I'm like, he's acting out of character. This is not him. Why is he doing this? So Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart carried. They didn't really care because the Knicks just played great. But in terms of Brooklyn, this is when I was like, all right. So Philly was a fluke. That's not how we're going forward, right? And even on Nets Twitter, you have people complaining. They're like, okay, the honeymoon phase is over. Yeah, we almost beat Philly, but we lost. And tonight, we lost to the Knicks for the first time in 3 years. It was rough. And then you had Knicks fans complaining. Cheering and making fun of us. Understandably, they deserve it. Cool, we lost. Whatever. I'll take that L on the chin. But what I will not take an L on is why did Spencer Dinwiddie shoot 38% for the field and got 28 points? He was the only one jacking up shots. The ball, every time it got into his hand, it just stuck. He was complaining to the refs the whole night. And granted, I already know what comes with Spence. He was my favorite player back in pre-KD era. Like, he was my favorite player in that group. So I know what comes with him. But he shot inefficiently, and he was complaining to the refs. Granted, we weren't getting calls, which is going to be the theme throughout the rest of the season. We barely got the calls when KD and Kyrie were here. So I don't expect that to change. But you can't complain the whole time, because that just makes the refs not want to call it. They're human at the end of the day. It sucks because they should just call the foul. But they're human. They're going to take it out on you. So he just kept stopping the ball and just shooting. He only shot 21 shots, but it felt like he shot like 35, bro. It was rough to watch. He shot 38% from the field. Like I said, it was just rough. He was shooting everything. Nobody else got a shot more than... Oh, well, all right. Cam Johnson got 10 shots. Cam Johnson. Everybody else had less than 8 shots. And most of them had below 6 shots. So it was just Spencer just letting it rip. Basically, the offense that we saw against Philly, it seemed like it was a fluke. I was going to make the video that night just complaining. I'm like, oh, man, it's not as bright as I thought. But I knew I was going to go to the game on yesterday, where Brooklyn would face the Heat. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold this video off. Maybe Philly could be the way that we play defense and run the offense. And thank God I waited to make this video, because Brooklyn Bridges arrived. He had a career high 45 points, shooting 70% from the field. When I tell you Barclays was going crazy, that would be an understatement. Like, he was blowing the roof off Barclays. It was great. Then you had Cam Thomas, who shot, I think, 11 shots. He had 19 points, but he was efficient. Just efficient. Every time he shot it, every time he made it, Barkley, like, it's clear that Nets fans love Cam Thomas and we want him to succeed, and I'm one of them. Then Cam Johnson had 18 points. Then you had the crazy layup behind the back. He just threw it up, and it should have been an and one. I was screaming and one while I was in Barclays. But nonetheless, Brooklyn Bridges arrived. He just went crazy. He shot 66% from the three. He made 4 threes. He was just getting whatever he wanted. And this is where I have a problem with JV, Jack Vaughn in particular, because I've been screaming to let Cam Thomas play more minutes. I know we have vets, but we're not in a win now mode. So please give Cam Thomas more minutes. Every time he gets more than 20 minutes, he gets like 18, 19 points. Like, that's his average or something. So he's a bucket, and everybody knows he's a bucket. You don't get off the bench and have 40 plus in 3 straight games while being the youngest one doing it, and then you're just regulated to being a 6-man. I, for the life of me, do not understand what Jack Vaughn is trying to do, because it's clear. So each game, we had different ball handlers. Like Philly, it was Spencer and Mikal. Well, no, it was really Spencer and Cam who were ball handling, and we ended up losing. Then it was Spencer and Cam in the Knicks, and that didn't work. But then it was Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges, and this is who I've been screaming to let ball handle, because Cam was getting double teamed off the rip. He made like 3 shots in a row, and then Miami was like, all right, we not about to do this tonight. So they kept doubling him. Then you have Mikal, who he ball handles, but the ball doesn't stick to him. So the ball was moving. That's not the way the offense. That's the way you want the offense to be played. You want ball movement, because we don't have a bona fide star. Then we had Cam Thomas. When he had it, like I said, he kept getting doubles, so it created open looks. That's 2 different ways to run the offense, and I feel like that is the way we should be playing, because we don't have a bona fide star. I think it's very simple, but I think JV has a lot of vets that he wants to, like, Give them their minutes because they deserve it, because everybody on the team is a solid player, but Cam Thomas deserves it. I for the life of me just don't understand. So I think going forward it should be Mikal and Cam. Spencer is great off the ball. He made timely shots. I know he didn't have a crazy night or nothing, but like he made the shots when they counted, and that's all we need. We I love Spencer, but let's be for real. Mikal, we got Mikal because we want him in our future. So that means we're hoping he becomes a star. Then Cam Thomas is a rising star. I don't care what nobody tell me. If he gets the time, he will become a star. Because even when he was inefficient, I forget what game that was, he had 20 points. He was inefficient because they kept doubling him. The defenses were throwing different stuff at him. But that's part of growing. Everybody knows he's a great scorer. So part of him growing is learning how to play off ball, how to play with different defenses being played on him. That's part of growing. So I just, for the life of me, don't understand why we keep trying to have Ben Simmons run the second unit, or why Ben Simmons is getting more playing time than Cam Thomas, because it's clear that Cam is the answer and that it's Mikal and Cam Thomas. That's our future. So that's really why I wanted to make this video, because Philly, it showed us how we should play to begin with. The Knicks showed us how we should never play. And then last night against the Heat is really how we should play. Granted, I don't expect Mikal Bridges to have a career night every night, but the ball was moving. It's just ended up sticking to him towards the end because he had it going. Like you feed the hot hand. And then Cam Thomas, of course, you give him the ball, he's a bucket. And then the after game, the post game, JV was talking about that this is the role he has in mind for Cam Thomas, and I just hate that he said that, because Cam only played 21 minutes when he should be getting no less than 25, and my preferred amount of minutes is 30 because he is a scorer. We don't have offense. I don't get it. We need offense. Yes, his defense suffers, but that's why we got all these wings. This is why defense is our calling card, because we have so many people that could play defense. So having Cam in the lineup is not going to kill us. It's really not. So I think Brooklyn has a bright future if we continue to play like this and don't play like we played against the Knicks. Like I said, that was the answer. Ball movement. We don't have a bona fide star, and our defense is solid. We have the best defense, if I'm not mistaken. We had, I think, a 76 percentile defensive rating against Philly. Like, all right, we are long. Pause. We're long, and we just defend. Like we make everybody look crazy, especially the big ones. Like the big players, the tall ones. The Embiid looked crazy. I know he had a solid game stats wise. And then Julius Randle had a terrible game. We have to work on the guards. But nonetheless, we're able to stop taller players, which is something we couldn't do before. So defense is going to be okay. And the offense can be okay if JV stops trying to regulate Cam Thomas to a six-man role. I really hate that. I will die on this hill. It doesn't make sense. Cam Thomas is gonna be a star. I know players get on these hot runs and then they just cool out, but he's the youngest to do it. So I don't see him just being a role player, a six man. I don't see that for him. He's a star. So please, JV, just give him the minutes. Mikal Bridges, you're Brooklyn Bridges, my guy. Brooklyn, we love you. Like, you do everything we ask of you. The Knicks game, I know you didn't shoot a lot and you didn't score a lot, but that was kind of Spencer Dinwiddie's fault because he didn't move the ball. So moving forward, our offense should be ball movement heavy, because that ISO stuff is not going to work. We don't have KD and we don't have Kyrie no more. So that ISO stuff, that should be dead. Donezo. Over with. And then defense, we just build chemistry, and our defense is going to be even more solid because everybody is defensive minded. And that like Mikhail said, defense wins championships. So even against the Heat, it was just a great game. I'm glad I got to see it live. Everybody was saying that we won because I showed up, which I thought was funny because it was people that don't know each other all sent me the same thing. The Heat, they had Bam, who had a solid night. You know, he was efficient. 24 points. Then Gabe Vincent was the second highest scorer with 21, and Max Strus with 18. Other than that, it was just like, I know Miami was a little hurt because, well, they're always hurt. So there was some players that I don't even know who they were that were playing. So I'm glad we got the win. Maybe I want to see us do it against even better competition. But nonetheless, I think we were able to see how the Nets should run in the future. And everybody's saying that we look fun. Definitely 2018 vibes. So that's it for all. That's all for today. I just wanted to talk about the Nets because I feel like they deserve it. It was a great way to end the pre-break for All-Star. It was just great to end off on a win. So I'm definitely looking forward for the rest of the season. And I will be making more content. So if you like the video, please subscribe, and I will see y'all. Peace.